Well, I'll tell you who can tell us better than I definitely can. It is Matt Bloxham from our Bloomberg intelligence team. Matt, great to see you.
Yeah.
How much of Microsoft and the popularity, well, relative popularity of their cloud business versus others is due to just their one step ahead on AI?
Well, I think that's clearly what's driving the current relatively good momentum. I mean, I think the fact that they're in every corporate pretty much around the world has been a real great foundation for them to build their cloud business into what it is today. I mean, it's 3 times the size of Google's cloud business, so, it's kind of really quite staggering that the relative size. But, they definitely stole a march on the other big tech firms about how quickly they got generative AI out into the market. This partnership with OpenAI, ChatGPT, shifting to generative search with Bing, that I think they really surprised everybody with that, and that momentum has allowed them to kind of build this growth. So an accelerating growth rate this quarter on cloud, whereas we saw with Alphabet that it was a decelerating trend.
Let's just pick up on that. Matt, good to see you this morning. Thanks for coming in. That deceleration that you say for Alphabet, of course, they have other legs to their stool which were performing quite well. But why this differential? Does this come down to price? Does this come down to product? Does this come down to a bifurcation in the market, if you will? There's a number of major players out there, Amazon, Microsoft, and Alphabet. So is it becoming crowded, and is it becoming competitive? And is that why Alphabet has perhaps slipped a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very competitive environment. Obviously, the cloud's dominated by those 3, Microsoft, Amazon, and Google. But, Google's a distant third. And I think to some degree it is about product and timing. As I was just mentioning, Microsoft's been ahead of the game getting generative AI products out there and integrating generative AI into its suite of Office products. And I think Google's just a little bit slower on that. They were behind on Bard, which is their generative search tool. And I think it's going to take them a bit of time to catch up. And they were already a little bit on the back foot trying to kind of build share. And that's just another challenge for them.
I feel bad moving away from the cloud because Manus had the pun of the morning with his silver linings. But I got to do it. I got to break Manus's heart here a little bit. Look, obviously the share reaction price has been on cloud. But what about other businesses? How does online advertising look in this current environment?
Yeah, do you know what? I think that's the thing that Google will be frustrated about. It's actually their digital advertising business held up pretty well. It was better than expected in the quarter, but it's a big, mature business. I think it's been more resilient perhaps than people thought to both the economic headwinds, but also the challenge from Microsoft with Bing. There was a moment where people were worried that suddenly Google search was going to lose its dominant position because of Bing, but they've held that off. I think the issue there is that there are clearly economic clouds brewing. Some of the signals we've seen today and in recent weeks from ad agencies has been around slowing spending by clients in Q4. So I think it's a mature business, and I think if Google's going to justify the big multiples it trades on, it needs to convince it's got an extra leg of growth, and the extra leg of growth is cloud and AI.
Matt, these tech stocks, many lambast the fact that we have such core concentration and a lack of dispersion, to Danny's point. But how important is the next step? We're going to get Amazon. We're going to get a number of the other big beasts. We're going to get Meta as well. How important are they? And they've got their own issues at the moment. How important are they in terms of understanding what's really at the heart of the American consumer? And I'm thinking more so about Amazon, really.
Yeah, no, I think that they're all important to a degree in their different way. And I think until you see all of the results, it's hard to put that. It's quite a complex mosaic that we're looking at. But obviously, Amazon gives you a slightly different cut to it. You're getting the health of the US consumer through their online consumer spending platform. But also you're seeing, the strength of their Amazon Web Services cloud business. And obviously Meta as an indirect sense on kind of brands confidence, because like Google, that's another big source of spending for advertisers. So I think we're going to see additional data points, and I think probably at the end of this week we'll have a much clearer view about the health of the US consumer, the pressures going into Q4, which is always a really kind of big spending quarter, both in terms of the consumer and brands on advertising.
Okay, Matt, thank you very much. Matt Bloxham there. A review and setting the stage forward for the rest of the tech earnings. Danny, we need to pause.